Kyle Kuzma has been the most consistent player for the Lakers in the bubble so far. If he continues to play like this, he will solve the Lakers' problems. Prior to the bubble, the Lakers had two glaring weaknesses: bench production and defense against bigger wings. Kuzma's improvement in play in the bubble so far has checked off these boxes. Kyle Kuzma has been a fan favorite ever since he came into the league. He was the 27th pick in the draft, and out of nowhere, he started playing like a star. After seeing him light it up during his rookie season, Laker fans expected him to be that next superstar. But this was an unfair expectation, considering he was lighting it up on a garbage team. Since his rookie season, he hasn't been living up to the expectations. And maybe he's still not that star many of us expected him to be, but now he's starting to play like that third option many of his teammates and members of the Lakers organization expect him to play like. Kuzma has a little bit of that Mamba mentality. I hesitate to say that he has it completely, because the Mamba was a killer on both ends of the floor. And up until recently, Kuzma was pretty much all offense. Also, Kobe was laser focused and absolutely obsessed with the game of basketball. His life was entirely basketball. Kuzma, I'm not sure. Sometimes it seems like he'd rather be an Instagram model. But one thing he's never lacked is confidence. That's where he and Kobe are similar. They both have absolute confidence in themselves. This semblance of the Mamba mentality is what resonated with a lot of the fans, as well as the front office. Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss fought hard to keep him out of the Anthony Davis trade package and keep him on the team. You want a guy that believes in himself. But that same confidence rubbed people the wrong way, because it didn't seem warranted. It didn't look like he was putting in the work. His play certainly wasn't showing it, and this is his third year. Typically the time young players start to figure it out. And with him being 25 years old, along with Laker fans having zero patience, there was frustration towards Kuzma. Yet, here we are in the bubble, and Kuz is starting to show his worth. He's finding his offense. The talent was always there. It was just the consistency that wasn't. But now in the bubble, he's averaging 16 points per game and shooting a Lakers best 44% from three-point range. That's something the Lakers really need. At the beginning of the season, we expected him to be our sixth man because he has the skills to do so. He can create his own shot off the dribble or off the catch. He can score in a variety of ways. It was just a matter of him doing that consistently. Now he's doing just that. He can lead the bench and provide LeBron and AD valuable minutes while they're on the bench. Earlier in the season, the starters would establish a lead only for it to disappear while they were on the bench. If Kuzma continues this play into the playoffs, the Lakers will now have someone they can rely on to carry the load while the other stars are resting. With the addition of Dion Waiters, the Lakers now have a solid bench and a legitimate threat to the opposing benches. So Kuz will fix the Lakers' bench woes and make the Lakers have a formidable bench, possibly deeper than the Clippers. But that is something I will probably dive deeper into for a later video. Now let's look at the Lakers' other weakness: wing defense. Particularly on big wings like Giannis, Kawhi, or even Paul George. Guys they will likely face on their road to the championship. Kuzma has always had the physical tools to be a good defender. He's got good size at 6'9" and good length. He's quick for his size, able to move laterally. What he was lacking was good technique and an understanding of NBA offenses and how to properly guard them. Also, it was an issue with his effort. But now, it seems like he has put it all together and he can hold his own on defense. He actually played solid defense on Kawhi when he was on him for the first game back, and has played solid defense throughout the bubble games. He probably won't be a lockdown defender who can absolutely shut down the opposing player, but even the best defenders won't be able to stop the likes of Kawhi and Giannis. The best way to defend these guys is to throw multiple bodies at them. When it comes down to it, LeBron can guard on the perimeter in spurts, and so can AD. LeBron was solid against Kawhi during their matchup, and there was that incredible sequence of him guarding both PG and Kawhi on the last shot. The only problem with that is you'd rather have them spending their energy elsewhere. You'd rather have LeBron leading the team and setting up guys on offense, and you'd rather have AD guarding the rim and making up for defensive lapses and switching when necessary. But we saw in their last matchups with both the Bucks and Clippers that they were able to guard the opposing wings effectively by putting AD or LeBron on them, or a combination of other players. If Kuzma can play solid defense against these guys, that's one more defender they can throw at the opposing wing, and that's less energy that needs to be expended by LeBron and AD. Kuzma's play makes him the typical 3-and-D player that the Lakers need. If his shot continues to fall like it has in the bubble, he can play that Chris Bosh role that was on the Heatles, or even the Kevin Love role on the 2016 Cavs, but with better defense. He can provide that spacing that they need, and they can have a death lineup of AD at the 5 and Kuz at the 4, which would be very versatile on both offense and defense. Kuzma is the key for the Lakers to unlock their true potential. His teammates believe in him, the front office believes in him, and his coach believes in him. Vogel said Kuz was dominant in their practices. Dudley has been saying that Kuz is that third guy since the beginning of the season. And LeBron said that Kuz needs to be the third best player for them to win a championship. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the Lakers can still find a way to win a championship if Kuz plays like how he did before the shutdown. The rest of the Lakers just need to be solid collectively. But if Kuz does continue to play like he's been playing in the bubble, that just makes everyone else's job that much easier. And it makes the path to the championship much more straightforward. I know that these few bubble games are such a small sample size to start crowning Kuzma as the third option, but I'm hoping that during the hiatus, Kuzma actually used that 4 months to work on his game and get healthy. I want to believe that all his teammates and coaches are actually telling the truth and aren't just gassing him up. If Kuzmania continues in the bubble, I truly believe we are looking at the title favorites.